President Ilir Meta stressed the important role Albania plays in strengthening the region and reiterated that Albanian passports for Kosovar citizens is not a solution to visa issues. Democratic Party Chairman Basha met with a delegation from the Democratic American Institute where they discussed concerns of the government's link to crime. Mayor Erjan Veliaj has inspected the work for the reconstruction of Besnik Hidri Street while promising more investments in peripheral areas next year. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Saturday the 18th of November 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. President Ilir Meta has said that he considers Albania's role in providing stability to the Balkans to be very important. Furthermore, Albanian diplomats have to follow the policy of strengthening NATO's role in the region by supporting Macedonia's membership in the North Atlantic Alliance. Albania's policy is for the strengthening of the role of NATO in the region, said Ilir Meta. The president reconfirmed his position that he does not see equipping Kosovo Albanians with an Albanian passport as a solution to the visa liberalisation issue of Kosovo. Meta said that Albania is under monitoring and any emotional action would harm the free movement of Albanians. We are currently under monitoring and scrutiny. Providing Albanian passports to Kosovars will do more harm than good, said Ilir Meta. Meta praised the development of culture and art as a great influence on economic diplomacy, as well as on international tasks that create a favourable business climate. All this will increase foreign investments in Albania. Economic diplomacy depends on culture, art and business climate, said Meta. At the meeting with the ambassadors, the head of state praised the establishment of the Ministry of Diaspora as a way of utilising the potential of Albanians abroad. President Meta called for the union of all Albanians in this, the year of Skanderbeg. Democratic Party Chairman Basha met with a delegation from the Democratic American Institute led by Robert Benjamin. During the meeting, they shared the concern over the government's link with international drug trafficking, stating that the country's cannabis was a political project. Basha said that linking politics with crime risks everything that Albania has achieved and destroys any possible reforms for the country's development. According to Basha, an anti-mafia government is the only way to rescue the country and allow us to get out of this mafia situation. Basha claims that this government has remained in power only because of buying votes with the money coming from its criminal activities. The solution, according to Basha, is to ensure electoral reform is realised and that electronic voting and vote counting is implemented, bringing Albanian elections in line with the European standards. The opposition leader raised further concerns about the use of dirty money in the campaign. Basha claims that there is evidence acquired through the Italian anti-mafia wiretap investigations on the Habilaj case that Samir Tahiri spent 20 million euros on the campaign. The US delegation is in Albania to provide assistance to political parties for transparency, management and financial oversight. Representatives of the American Democratic Institute considered the situation in Albania worrying and showed readiness to give support by adapting best practices as determined from international experience. The heads of the Educational Office in Malësia e Madhe have been dismissed for abuse of power. The Minister of Education, Lindita Nicola, chose to give a media statement about the abusive conduct by the educational leaders regarding the appointment of teachers. Nicola reiterated the success of the co-governance platform and the ease of which citizens can raise concerns to political leaders. We have ordered the dismissal for the education leaders in Malësia e Madhe, said Lindita Nicola. Jovalin Veshtaj had appeared as the top candidate via the teacher portal for Albania. However, the available job position was given to the candidate who ranked second on the list. The Minister of Education did not directly mention the tragic incident involving more than 60 students in Bulqiz who inhaled harmful fumes as a result of a leaking gas boiler. However, referring to the incident, Nicola announced that she has suspended the secondary school education in Shupënza. Minister Nicola also asked all regional education leaders to set up an inspection in collaboration with local governments for boiler verification in all schools to occur this weekend. Utilising its legal avenue, the inhabitants, civil society and environmentalists are developing protests in defence of Valbona. The most recent protest occurred today at the Prime Minister's office, where they called on the government to cancel works on the construction of 3 hydropower plants in Valbona. According to the protesters, these constructions will bring serious consequences to the ecosystem. As the courts have determined there is no legal argument for stopping the construction, which may give little hope for justice, the protesters are remaining hopeful that the right decision for the environment will be made. The courts made an absurd decision. We remain hopeful for justice, said an inhabitant of Valbona of international origin. Many of Valbona's residents have already turned their eyes to the internationals in order to seek support for their plight. The protest comes after the administrative court decision, dated November 3rd, which determined the construction work of the 3 hydropower plants to be lawful. Next week, the court's decision will be appealed, with the residents continuing their protests. The Democratic Party has called medical checkups a corrupt affair from the Rama government. In a press statement, MP Albana Vokshi said that the government has given the business that received the screening service €4 million for approximately 250,000 analyses that have never been made, and will continue to give another €7 million according to the contract. €4 million have been misused on 250,000 unfinished analyses, said Vokshi. The MP then went on to denounce the budget, claiming that it provides about €40 million to 4 businessmen who are the Prime Minister's friends. Vokshi called on the special prosecution that will be established with the new justice reform to investigate these affairs. The chairman of the SMI's parliamentary group, Petrit Vasili, denounced the government for seeking to replace the dried, dying palm trees planted on the Tirana Durrës highway with pine trees at a cost of €2.5 million. Via a Facebook post, Vasili called it a scrupulousness of thievery and ruin coming from the ignorance of Prime Minister Edi Rama. The Prime Minister stole money from the people to plant palm trees on the highway. Now he will repeat the action and do the same with money for pine trees. What a shame. This is money that is being taken from ordinary people to be wasted on trees that are wiped out by our climate anyway. The specialists, media, civil society and politicians argued that complete robbery, while the Prime Minister of the traffickers was so defensive of the palm tree project. Today, they demand another €2.5 million to replace the palm trees with pines. This Prime Minister really has no shame, said Petrit Vasili. Comfort Zone is honoured to inaugurate the first school outside of the borders of Italy, and they are not doing it in New York or Paris or London, but right here in Albania. Now, the capital will have a good aesthetics and makeup school. In collaboration with Makeup Forever and Comfort Zone, 2 world-famous brands, the Tirana Aesthetics and Style School has opened its doors for all those interested in developing their career in this field. It is time for Albania to become well known for their aestheticians, said the school's director, Martina Braho. The General Director for Comfort Zone, Davide Manzoni, said that this is the first school that has opened outside of Italy's borders. We are honoured to bring our brand to Albania, said Manzoni. Tess has been certified by the Ministry of Social Welfare. The students in this school will learn the basic techniques for beauty treatments and massages, will acquire dermatological knowledge from medical pedagogues, the basics of photography, and will also be graduates of marketing and management. The municipality of Tirana started the full reconstruction of Besnik Hidri Street, located at the border with the Laknas area, where families have lived mainly since the 1990s. The Mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliaj, accompanied by SP MP Rakip Suli, said that this is another promise kept for residents. Mayor Erion Veliaj expressed his satisfaction with the draft budget for next year, announcing that Administrative Unit Number 11 will be one of the biggest beneficiaries. For 2018, the highest budget forecast for any administrative unit is for Unit 11, stated Veliaj. The reconstruction project for Besnik Hidri Street foresees expansion and construction of sidewalks, underground works, lighting and placement of signalling, as well as the increasing of security parameters for citizens of the community. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.